Welcome to the Kopite podcast with your hosts Mick and Jay Pearson.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Kopite podcast. It's Jay again, and alongside me as always is Mick. We've got another special episode today. We're joined by a man who has Liverpool in his blood. He joined the Liverpool Academy when he was 7 years of age and went on to captain the youth team to not one but two FA Cup youth titles in 2006 and 2007. In 2008, he made his senior debut in the Champions League tie away at PSV, but it was the following March when he made his name on the Kop, quite literally when he came on as a sub for Gerrard in a Real Madrid 4-0 battering. He was a mainstay in the side in season 11-12, and it saw him pick up a League Cup winners medal and an FA Cup semi-final victory over the Ev as well starting in an FA Cup final for his boyhood club. And as the Kop like to say, there's only one Jay Spearing. So Jay Spearing, thank you very much for joining us today, buddy. We appreciate it.
No worries, anytime.
So lockdown life treating you okay, mate, yeah?
So what, mate, yeah, it's all right. As I said before, it's different, but we have to get used to it. There's not a lot we can do, but I'm enjoying spending time with the kids, the wife. I best say that in case she kills me. But man, it's good. It's different, but learning every day and getting used to it and just trying to keep a routine about it. That's all. Yeah,
exactly, mate. Especially for the kids and stuff, mate. And it's they can get bored quite quickly when they can't go to different places, isn't it? So.
It is, mate. Yeah, all I hear from 7 o'clock in the morning till late at night is, "Daddy, can we do this? Dad, can we do this? Dad, can we do that?" Literally never heard me name so much in my life.
I know that feeling, pal. Well, listen, mate. Because there's a lot of times where I know Liverpool fans have not really heard your sort of story, that type of thing, and I'd basically just start at the beginning, mate. Is obviously your dad's a big red, so obviously he's bred into you, and you were at the academy when you were about 7. So. What do you remember about those early years, about first supporting Liverpool and, you know, what your dad taught you?
Oh, God, we can go on forever here. But no, do you know what? It was really enjoyable. Dad had me in the garden like everybody else. Everyone else with their son, gets them in the garden, kicking the ball as early as possible. Just enjoying it, having fun. I had a couple of friends that then went on to join a local side over my way called Greenleys. A few friends played there. Dad took me along, got involved. I think I had about 6-7 months there at 7. And then another friend of ours, his oldest son, was at Liverpool Academy at the time. Yeah. And he just come to a game one day and just said, the under-7s are looking for 5-6 players from over the water. They said, "Do I know anybody?" And he mentioned myself and Craig Linfield at the time. So we just said, obviously our dads just said, "Yeah, no problem, we'll go over." So we went over to Melwood, it was, the old Melwood. And it was Billy Bygroves. He was the coach of the under-7s, 8s. And we signed a form for like a 6-week trial, and my dad did anyway, I never. And then after 4 weeks, myself and Craig were signed, and then we never looked back.
Brilliant. Well, in terms of obviously when you first went there, obviously at 7 years of age, there's loads of players that you're looking up to there, like Robbie Fowler and Steve McManaman and stuff. Was you? I don't know if you can remember, mate. It was a bit in awe of walking around and seeing those types of faces.
Yeah, it was. It was strange because obviously, as a 7-year-old kid, you kind of know what's going on, but then you also kind of just like, when can I get the ball out, or can we go play football? When are we training, or when am I going to like kick a ball? I remember we did like a thing. I think it was Karl-Heinz Riedler, I think it was.
Legend.
I think when we first arrived, he came around the corner and just like said hello to everybody. So obviously then, as a 7-year-old, he was like giving us all high five, and we were like, "Wow, this is amazing!" And then it was just like, "Come on, get out and train and just enjoy it." And say at that age, you just kind of like want to kick a ball with your mates. And I was lucky enough that Craig was there with me, so I had a friend that I knew, and it was just about like enjoying myself and having fun.
Yeah, and it sort of, you could see that obviously during the Youth Cup days when you were quite close to a lot of the lads that were in those Youth Cup teams. And when Liverpool won the Youth Cup in '96, obviously it was just before you went there. It was a massive deal for the club. Obviously it was the first time we'd won the competition, and it boasted some famous names like, Owen and Carragher. But you went on to win 2 of those titles back to back after a long time was not wearing it, and you captained both the sides as well. How special was that for you to captain the Liverpool Youth Cup winning side back to back? Must have been amazing.
Do you know what? Like I just said, look, at 7, you're kind of there and you're thinking, yeah, I'm just going to go play football and enjoy myself. But as you do get older, you start to realise, well, if I'm at Liverpool here, this is a club that I support. All my favourite players are here. Obviously, the Stevies came through, the Carragers, the McManamans are playing, and you know what I mean, and Owens and stuff. And as you're going through, you're thinking, oh, I've got a chance of this. I mean, I was lucky enough that I think that youth side, we were together from 9. Like, I think we only lost maybe one player from 9 till 16, 17. And he used to call us the dream team. I think we went a couple of years unbeaten, never lost games or anything. We had a lot of good players in that squad, and that obviously came out with the 2 youth cups back to back. The first one, we played pre-season. It was our first pre-season game in Leeds, and I broke my leg, and I was out for 7 months. So I managed to get back for the semi-final, but I think all year round I was thinking, please stay in the cup, please stay in the cup. Come on, get us through. And you got through, and to get back for then and be involved, and as you say, to go back to back, and it was the biggest cup. It was the only cup competition you had at that age. It was the first real taste of it. You played league games all the way through the academy stage, but to real like a knockout stage of cup, it was the only cup competition you could be involved in. And like you said, it was a big deal for the club. The first one was in '96, and then to win it at City away. I know we lost the game 2-0, but obviously winning 3-0 from home. It was a massive thing for the club, and especially for the lads. And then to then go and do it again and do it at Old Trafford.
Just about to say.
There's two big occasions and 2 big stadiums that you go and win it at. And to win it with your mates that you grew up with just made it even better. Obviously, I made it amazing doing it for Liverpool, but with the mates that I'd played with since 9, and to go and win that cup competition together as one group, it was probably a great time.
Yeah, and I think we could see it in your faces when you'd won it. I mean, I was 22, 23 at the time when that happened, and you definitely could see there was a real togetherness, and it was just typical of the academy, the way every player's been brought through that academy to have the relationship that you've got. And you know, there was I remember there was a newspaper article at the time saying this will be the England team in 10, 15 years time, and there was the likes of yourself and Robbie Threlfall in there as well, and you had serious hope that would happen one day. But there were some special players in that side, and as a lot of Liverpool fans, they like to look at the youth sides to see like, right, who's coming through next, because we've been brought up on it, haven't we? So
well, yeah, that's what it was. It's a massive pathway, and Liverpool, like you said, the Liverpool way, and Scousers fans love local lads coming through and having a go and showing the Liverpool desire and commitments and the love for the club that we have. I feel that I did it through my time. I lived a kid's childhood dream. We had a lot of lads that did exactly the same thing, that maybe weren't as fortunate, but they did the Youth Cup, and no one can take that away from them. They did the Reserve League the year after.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? And like, we lived the dream, and I was fortunate enough then to go on to the first team with Martin Kelly, even Darbs as well. We were fortunate to have time on the field for the club that we'd grew up playing for. So it was a real special moment, a real special part of my life that I'd never forget and look back on with very fond memories.
Spot on, mate. I think with that, around that time as well, you were very much obviously the pivotal role of the team, with being captain, and you're so commanding in that centre of midfield. I think I was one of them. I jumped on the bandwagon of thinking this lad is the real deal. He's the next Steven Gerrard. He can lead us because of the Scouser in you, and you were being compared to Gerrard quite a bit back then. I mean, at the time, did you read any of that? Did you hear any of that? I mean, was you like, oh, Jesus Christ, I don't need that bloody pressure, or like, yeah, sound, I'd love to do that?
Do you know what, mate? I always say, a lot of people have asked me that question, and to be honest with you, it was just like, it is what it is. Let them talk what they're going to talk about. You'll never get another Stevie G.
No.
Like, you can say whatever you want. You will never get another one like him. So you have to become your own person and make your own statements. I tried to make my own statements. I gave everything I could to it. And I got my rewards of playing over 50 games for Liverpool Football Club. And it was just, I think, obviously, the dream was to be there for life. That didn't come to happen. Obviously, we'll go into that into a little bit more detail later. But I lived my dream. I played at the Champions League level, Europa League, FA Cup final, Carling Cup, got obviously winners medal like you mentioned before, played in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? I did everything I ever dreamed of doing. So I loved every single second of it, and I've got no regrets at all of my time at the club.
Spot on, mate. Well, let's fast forward to the 9th of December 2008 then. PSV Eindhoven. That gorgeous throwback to the grey kit. Champions League patch on your arm. You sat next to Derby and Kells. What's going through your mind, lad? Did you know you were going to get a game? We'd obviously qualified, didn't we? So
yeah,
you know
I think if you look at the lineup, there was a few changes. I think David and Gog maybe got his debut as well, or started. And obviously Lucas. I think Lucas was playing. De Sena was at left back. Like, no disrespect to these players, but like made quite a lot of changes. You know what I mean? A lot of lads were rested, and I think it was when was it? I think it was just after the weekend's game. He called the three of us in and just said, "Listen, lads, you're going to be travelling to PSV. You've got a real good chance of being involved. We're going to make a few changes because we've won the group or whatever." So, it was just more excitement than anything. Especially again, I'd been with Derby since 9 years of age. Kells was obviously the younger group, but for the player and the size that he was pushed up to our age a lot. So that again, it was lads that I grew up with, to experience them things, to go through the same emotions as them, but have my mate next to me was something that I could have, like, you know, if I had a way of doing it, I'd have done it exactly that way. And again, it just, when we got there the night, we trained there the night before, you know, surreal, thinking, wow, look here, what's going on here? Sending your mum and dad pictures, look where I am, you know what I mean? Just little things like that.
Yeah.
And again, walking out to train with your mates, thinking, wow, this is mad. You've gone from playing at the academy in front of 50 people to a stadium that holds, you know, 40, 50,000 Champions League night. And then the night of, then getting a nod to be in the 18 in the afternoon, thinking, wow, this is insane. Ringing me dad, I'm involved. You won't believe it, I'm on the bench. You know what I mean? Like, make sure you watch it. You know, just stuff like that.
Yeah. Get Sky Plus fucking set, will you?
Yeah, mate. It's just real excitement. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to explain.
Yeah, can imagine, pal. Well, I mean, obviously, I do remember the game, and you know, it was a nice, comfortable win in the end, anyway. But I think we've looked at that. But I think, you know, if people would say, when was the first time you saw Jay Spearing? It was definitely March 2009. So you sat on the bench, you're watching your teammates batter Real Madrid 3-0. And at what point does Rafa look at you and go, Jay, get ready? Or did he not say anything, just fucking pointed his finger like,
Doesn't
you know,
he was one of the best coaches I think I've ever worked under. He was he just listened to anything he said. He was so clever in what he did, and how his man management was just next to none. Again, it was a surreal moment of, right, you're going to be involved. Like, wow, Real Madrid at home. Wow, this is insane. Like, what's going on? And then another one of thinking, when the first two goals go in, you think, oh, get in, like, happy days, we're winning.
Yeah, as a fan.
As a fan, you're thinking, get in, I love this, Real Madrid at home. What an atmosphere this is, you know what I mean? It's unbelievable, isn't it? And then the third goes in, and you think, oh, I might get, you know what, go on. You think, go on, chuck me on, gaffer. Like, give us a go. So you start, like, when you're warming up, you're running a bit faster, and, like, you're doing a bit more to, like, try and get attention. And then always remember just sitting there. Like, I think Kells was involved again. It was just a matter of, like, a point and go. And, like, off that then, obviously, we all knew that was the time. Like, listen, get ready, you're going on. And I thought, oh my God, what's going on here? And it's just, I think I've ran down that line the quickest I've ever ran down it. Just trying to get ready. You know what I mean? Just thinking, like, oh, come on, call me back quick. And again, mate, just sheer excitement, knowing that, like, your mum and dad and your family, your sister, your friends, everyone arrive. All of your mates are in the in the stand itself, because through tickets and that. And then all your family at home, and you're just thinking, what? I'm just gonna run around and just enjoy myself here.
Yeah, fair play. And you did as well. I mean, just out of interest, off topic, is Fernando Gago and Goosey still in your pocket, lads?
Yeah, I've let him out. I let him out about 18 months ago.
Oh, mate, I'll never forget that. Honestly, it was one of the best games I've ever been to, and you know, being in the ground and having your name sung, like, pretty much straight away after you just come on and buried yourself into them tackles. And it must be some kind of record for your name being sung on the Kop so bloody quickly after the debut at Anfield, mate. It must have been incredible.
It was a bit surreal. It was kind of like, I always remember me saying, Dad always said to me, whenever you get on, son, just go and touch the ball as quick as possible. So I was like, right, okay, no worries. So I always remember literally I think Pepe caught one, I think it was, and I literally just ran at Pepe and said, "Give me the ball." I screamed at him, "Give me the ball." And he gave me it, and I passed it about 5 yards, I think. But then this sense of, like, I don't know what it was, this sense of relief just, like, came out in my body. And just thought, you know what? You're 3-0 up against Real Madrid at home. Just run around and have some fun, you know what I mean? Just enjoy it and embrace every minute I can. And I really did. I just ran around, kicked a few people and got stuck in. I think as well, I think I had a go at Torres as well, Fernando, for not passing me the ball back.
Fair play.
I think it was the Van der Vaart one. I think I tackled him in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
Played the ball around the corner, went 1-1-2, but he had a shot, I think, or something. And I was like thinking, like, come on, give me it back. But, you know, I just ran off then, of course. I can't say that to Nando.
Fair play. Well, I think, again, we touched on it before, didn't we, about academy players coming through. And, you know, it was another scouser in the team. You know, it's something that everybody just loved because everybody who's on the stands wants to play for Liverpool. And there's another local lad getting his Anfield debut against the might of Real Madrid in a fantastic result. And let's face it, mate, you're in hand for the fourth goal as well. So it's such an amazing experience for you, mate. I bet you just look back at that going, do you know what? If you cleared finish there at Liverpool, that'd have been fantastic, wouldn't it?
Do you know what I said that to someone a couple of months ago. If I'd have finished after that night, I'd have you know what I mean? Like, everything I've done since has been fantastic. You know what I mean? It's been unbelievable. But if they said, right, you're going to go all the way through and then you'll come on at Real Madrid and win 4-0 at home with your parents in the crowd, the cops in your name, like, you've ticked every box and you pinch yourself and think, thank you very much, that's my life made.
Fair play.
Do you know what I mean? It was just, like, surreal. But nothing like Rafa, though. Straight, obviously, done with debut. Like, loved it. Was on an absolute massive fire. Everyone come in. All giving me like a big hug, saying congratulations, all the players give me a high five, love it, well done, well, like you've worked so hard to get it. And then Rafa came round and went, "Oh Jay, listen, you with the reserves tomorrow, you've got Man United at Warrington." And I was like, "Nice one, cheers."
Take it back down to her.
Like, that's how good he was though, because he'd never let he never let people get too far ahead of themselves. Everybody, even the best players, the Nandos, the Alonsos, the Mascarenos, everybody was like straight as ever. There was no big ego, nothing. Everyone was on the same level. Yeah. And that's how he was really good at like keeping everyone together and grounded and just like got the best out of everybody.
What was he like with you personally, Jay? Obviously, we've heard about Gerrard speaking about him being quite a cold character and didn't feel loved and all that. What did you make of him as a coach in the dressing room?
As a coach, I think for my side of it, obviously Stevie was a massive player. He was a captain of the club, and you know what I mean. He'd been around for years and years and years, and that was the way Rafa decided to look after him. But as a young lad coming through, Rafa was the one that took me from I was centre back all the way up until 18. Somehow, I don't know how, being 5'7", it was kind of thinking, what am I doing here? But he was the one that called me in and said, "Listen, Jay, I really like obviously how you play, what you're about. So I think you can play for Liverpool Football Club, but not at centre back. You're going to be like a holding midfielder." He then said to me, "Listen, you're going to play as a number 10 for the reserves with Gary Ablett." So I was like, right, okay. He said, "Because I want you to learn the whole role of midfield." So for me personally, it was fantastic. I had a year with the Rezzies when we obviously went on to win it. I was number 10 behind Christian Nemeth.
Yeah, he's a great player he was.
Yeah, so obviously that was a good year. Really learned that role, really enjoyed it. I scored my only hat-trick I've ever scored against Bolton and the Rezzies. And then he pulled me back into holding. But every time I trained with the first team, from that moment on the Real Madrid game, he rewarded me by putting me in the first team dressing room as well. So that was like a bit of a reward after it. He came and called for me a couple of mornings after. And I was thinking, oh God, what have I done? Like, did not play well the other night, so what's going on? And he said, "Well, listen, you're going into the first team dressing room, congratulations." And I was like, oh, wow. Awesome. So that was a little bonus out of that. So with me personally, he was outstanding. He was really good. He helped me like nurture into that midfield role I hadn't really played before, only a couple of times before.
That's on, mate.
Awesome.
And the thing is with Rafa as well, obviously, we were all devastated to see him go, and there was changes afterwards as well. But obviously, Rafa was dead good to you. But if we fast forward again to your league debut away at Sunderland, which obviously must have been a memorable occasion for you and your family, but it was overshadowed by a bloody beach ball, which you just couldn't write it, could you? But besides that, and the results obviously on the day must have been a special occasion for you.
Yeah, again, you grow up and you get to that time you want to be in the Premier League with Liverpool Football Club, and I got the opportunity to Sunderland, a full packed house, great fan support. We'd gone there, and you know what I mean. You can't write it, can you? The beach ball was there, and it happened. And I think we all just screamed to the ref, going, "That can't count, that can't count." You know, just to try and get anything good, but it just didn't work. But another moment that I can look back on and go, "Oh, I was involved in that. That was my debut." That so.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I shouldn't have think what would happen if that happened again today. Would VAR rule it out or what? You know, you just don't know. But
yeah, you wouldn't. I wouldn't know, mate. I wouldn't be able to tell you that one.
Another bloody thing that is against us again. And do you know what? I wouldn't mind if it was a Sunderland ball, but it was a frigging Liverpool one, wasn't it?
From Liverpool fan. It was in the paper for ages, weren't it? Going Liverpool's fan, he done this, he done that.
Unreal. But again, I look back at it and just laugh now, because I mean, obviously the season wasn't the best season ever. So if we could take some comedy out of it, then that'd be good. But mate, honestly, you know, making your debut in that is just, like you said, it's a dream come true. But again, it's another opportunity. You know, it's not just okay, I've had a couple of European games and now being thrown into league matches now to gain 3 points to gain qualification for European places to challenge for the title, and it just shows the faith that he had in you.
He was brilliant. I say I can't thank him enough. He was outstanding with me. He gave me obviously all the debuts that I'd ever dreamed of doing, playing at the Liverpool Football Club, and he was fantastic. Like you say, to then play the Premier League for the club and tick another little tick off the list that you always dream. You listen. I joined the academy at 7 for the first year or two. Didn't really have a clue. Like didn't know what it was. What I really enjoyed it. It was good. I was going training twice a week and a little game every so often. It was good. I wasn't allowed to play with mates anymore and stuff like that. So that was my football. And as you get older and older, you work all the way through for them moments. And I checked all them moments off.
Good lad. And I think when you went out on loan to Leicester, and then you obviously, it's always good for a lad at that age to get some experience, get some 15 games in and prove themselves. But when you came back to the club, it's safe to say it was a little bit of a dark time for us, given the off-field antics. That we weren't playing well under Roy Hodgson, and we'd fallen way off the pack, and it was a bit of a saga. What did you make of the Roy Hodgson era and the stuff that was going on in the club in terms of Ix and Gillette versus FSG? And was you part of it? Was you just like, no, I'm just going to keep my head down, getting training, or was you worried just as much as we are because you're a fan as well?
I think everybody was, mate. It was a really difficult time. It was a transition time of the club. It was a transition for them, but it was also I was trying to make a statement and get in. So it was a tough time because obviously with everything going on off the pitch, it kind of put a dull on what was going on the pitch. I felt, if I'm honest, I think a lot of people will probably agree with me. I felt that, well, a lot of players anyway, I felt Roy Hodgson just come at the club to the wrong time. I felt like he was an easy out, if you know what I mean. Obviously, because the negativity that was going on with the board and the owners and all that, and then obviously it affected stuff on the pitch, and everything was just down about the place, the transition. He was just an easy outlet, and he was a really, really good coach. I think a lot of the lads would say he is a really very good coach, and that's why he's still at Palace now, doing so well that he's done. And he just come at the wrong time, but he was a fantastic coach and a real, real nice guy. And I think a lot of people, everyone would say the same about him. But again, the big thing for him, it was just a difficult time to be at Liverpool Football Club for any manager, whether it was going to be him or anybody else. It would have been difficult, I think.
Do you think it was a bit of that, and also maybe not his level? I know he worked wonders at Fulham, and like you said, he's doing really well at Palace now. Do you think Liverpool was maybe a step too much for him, as much as he came at the wrong time as well?
Yeah, it could have been. I think. Because, listen, following Rafa Benitez is going to be a very, very difficult thing to do. At the time, the club probably didn't feel... Well, you never know, but you might not have thought they could get the man that they really want. Hodgson had done so well at Fulham. He'd really progressed and he'd been in the game a long time. Could he come and just stable the club while things were going in a transition? And unfortunately for him, it kind of dulled out quite quick and didn't work for him. And the fans say... the Liverpool fans really love the club, really love the club massively, and they just want to see it do well. And it was just a tough time all around, I think.
Well, and eventually Hodgson leaves, and on the 8th of January 2011, the King is back at the helm. How much did that change things, especially in the dressing room? It must have been like a weight had been lifted type of thing.
It was a huge boost. Listen, the King Kenny, and to have him come in and be your manager for any, you don't have to be a Scouser to know that that's a big deal. We all knew as soon as he come in, the aura, the stature, the person that he is, and he's the king. He's the king of Liverpool Football Club. So you whatever he says goes. You listen to him, and he has that. He's King Kenny. So, but he's a good coach as well. He brought in 2 clever men with it. He brought obviously Steve Clarke with him. He's an incredible coach as well. He really helped him. He was doing a lot of the work on the field in training. With the King just coming in every so often and putting a little thing in. But for me personally, as a Scouser, as a lad growing up, he's my dad's hero. Stevie G was my hero, so it couldn't get any better for me. I had Stevie G training with me as captain. I had the manager, King Kenny, as my manager. It was a perfect for our local lads to come through. You couldn't ask for a better.
Go ahead, Mick. You wanted to ask me about your mate, didn't you?
Oh yeah. When I watched interviews with Kenny, he'd always call you Wee J, and I always just thought that was hilarious. Did he ever call you that in person, or was that just
always? Wee man. It used to be like Wee man as well. He'd be like, morning Wee man, and I'm like, all right, cheers, yeah. And I know I'm small, but come on, you know what I mean? Call it, like, give me like a bit of help me out here. Don't need the nation in the world. No, I'm small as well. But now I was just laughing with me because every time you got mentioned, it'd be Wee J. It wouldn't be like J or Spear, and it'd always be Wee J. Just always wondered. I had a really good relationship with him again. He was fantastic. He really he gave me a lot of belief, and he had a lot of belief in me. I think he's shown that with the year that we had. I played a lot, probably my most influential year at the club, and he really liked what I was about, and that for me was the ultimate goal. I had obviously the King backing me, and he wanted me to be involved in the Liverpool Football Club. And again, it was just mad to be in part of, but loved every minute of it. He gave obviously not just me, but Kells, Flano, Jack Robinson as well. You know, at the time, he gave all the local lads game time. And do you know what, mate? It was just a real good year. Loved it again. Obviously, the Derby games and the City games and the Cup finals, and you know, it was just a fantastic year, and I just really loved it with him being in charge, and Clarkey didn't get a lot of talk about it because obviously the King was the manager, but Clarkey was outstanding as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've just touched on it there, Jay. You were a mainstay of Dalglish's sides. You really were. You know, you were in the squad all the time. You started a lot of games under him, but again, it's a testament to your ability and your attitude. But obviously, in the summer of 2011, we signed Charlie Adam, Stuart Down, and Jordan Henderson. You must have felt like your chances might have been a bit limited going, oh, right, the club has spent money on 3 big name players at the time. You must have think, bloody hell, I've got my work cut out here. And you went on to be a mainstay of the side. It must have been quite daunting at the beginning, though. Yeah,
it was, mate. But the thing is, though, I knew, listen, we're Liverpool Football Club. We can go and buy whoever we wanted. You know what I mean? We can attract massive players. Everyone wants to play for Liverpool. It's a huge club worldwide, and it still is. Obviously, it still is. Yeah. But I knew they were going to attract bigger players and obviously good players. With Charlie coming in, he had a fantastic time at Blackpool, and it was just a matter of, listen, I need to prove to the manager that I whether you spent $6 million on him or not, I should be playing, and I deserve the shirt. And thankfully, luckily enough, I did that myself. I knuckled down, worked hard, believed that I could do something and proved that I was able to play at that level. And I just needed to win the manager over, and thankfully I did, and managed to play a big part of that season.
Yeah, and obviously, one of the biggest parts of that season was winning the League Cup. Yeah. Tell us about I mean, obviously, we never do a cup final frigging easily, do we? We've always got to do it the hard way. Tell us about the day against Cardiff, mate, at Wembley. How was it?
Do you know what, mate? It's a bit of a mixed emotion, to be fair, because I'd played every round, and we played City away, and I'd done my hamstring, and I'd missed both. I came off after about half an hour, I think it was, of the first leg, and we won the look. And that kept me out from the semi. And I always was thinking at home in the reserve leg, please get through, boys, come on, we can do this. So we got through. And then it was just it was a mixed emotion, because I was nervous, thinking, he hadn't named the team yet. I was thinking, I've played every round, will I get a go, will he bring me back in? I understand if he doesn't, because obviously I've been injured and stuff like that. And he just pulled me the morning off and just said, listen, with your hamstring and just training like a couple of days, I don't think you're fit enough to start, but obviously you're going to be involved. You have to be involved because of obviously what you've done for us this year, and I think you deserve it. So I was like, all right, that was enough for me. To have him pull me aside and explain the situation was fine, and obviously a little bit of disappointment not to start, but again, I want to win the final. I want the team to win, and luckily, like you said, we didn't do it the easy way, but just remember them penalties, thinking, please, come on, please do it. And luckily we did it. And again, another surreal moment that you'll never, probably hard to get that feeling back again at that moment of that obviously missed penalty to win it and running to the lads to celebrate. You know what I mean? It's a tough moment to describe, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I can imagine. And like you said, you're picking up a winner's medal at Wembley for Liverpool. It's another, we tick the box. And if you want to finish your career there, I'll finish it there. And
it is. And so you play for you do them in stages. You're like, listen, I need to do my debut. Right, fantastic. Tick that off. I want to play this. I want to play Champions League, Europa League. Yeah, come on, tick them off. Get them done. I want to play FA Cup, obviously the biggest British cup competition that there is. You want to go as far as that as you can. The Carling Cup, League Cup, well, obviously Carling Cup at the time. You want to go as far as play. You want to play in that. Get as far as you can. Get to finals. You want to win trophies. And again, to get to Wembley, the home of England, again, is just what you want to do as a kid, and to go on and win it, get that winner's medal, walk up them steps, get a winner's medal, and lift the trophy. Again, it's like you said, another tick-off moment, and a moment you'll never forget.
Yeah, and I think with the other cup competition we had that year, obviously you just mentioned there, the FA Cup, we were a bit of a cup team that year. We were really difficult to beat in those ties, and we had a really good run to the FA Cup final as well. Obviously, there's disappointment when we didn't win it, but again, you played. I think you played every round again, and you were a mainstay in the side again. And we've got to talk about the semi-final against the Ev. I mean, you can't get much better than that, can you? I mean, what was it like for yourself building up to that game and then playing
the draw? Do you know what, mate? The draw was the best bit, honestly.
Go ahead.
The draw was the best bit. The cheer that we had at Melwood when that draw came out, it was unbelievable.
Yeah,
I think it's just we all sat there in the canteen watching it, waiting, come on, give us a good draw, and then obviously we got Everton, and it was just a massive cheer of get in. This is going to be some like semi. Do you know what I mean? Phone went mad, literally. Family, friends, you know what I mean? Just going mad, going, oh, I need to be at that game. Come on, you need to get this ready. We need these tickets.
Yeah.
But I think at the time as well, I think Everton were doing okay.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they were doing okay. They were having an half-decent season. And even like a lot of like, I think they felt going into that semi-final because we were, like you said, we were good at cup competition. The league wasn't going as well as it normally had. And I felt that Everton had a bit of a kick in the step that they could beat us. And I don't think a lot of Everton fans would agree with me with that. Would they disagree with me, sorry?
Yeah, of course.
I think they'd agree that they felt that they could go there and win it, and that's why I felt it made it even better that we beat them. But the build-up was just, for weeks, mate, it wasn't even just a week before. For weeks, it was, I had blue noses mates texting me. I've got two uncles that are blue noses going, listen, I hope you play well, but you don't win, and all that. You know what the banter comes out, do this and do that for us, you know what I mean? But again, another one that you just think, this is just perfect for a Scouse lad, going to Wembley to play against Everton in front of your family, friends, and to go and win again. It was just a surreal day altogether.
It was, and it was a lot of mixed emotions, wasn't it, on there? Because we went 1-0 down, and
I had the goal as well. How horrible!
Yeah, it's madness. And then we scoring late on, and even getting another late winner against Everton, because that just seems to happen every time we bloody play them at the minute, which is great. But then we get to the final, and then again another box tick for you, lad. FA Cup final.
Yeah,
the emotions must have been massive that day. Massive.
It was, mate, and they say the semi-final was icing on the cake. It was fantastic. You'd won at Wembley. You've done it in front of your fans. You beat the Blues. Like, what more do you need? And then you get Chelsea in the final. And again, it was an unbelievable occasion. Loved every minute of the warm up. Thinking, wow, this is amazing. Played. Obviously, the result didn't go our way. But obviously, the Andy Carey goal, you think, oh, come on, that's in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think, come on, give us a break. But it wasn't to be. But again, I can tick off a box. FA Cup final. Listen, I was devastated we lost the final. I thought we deserved something from it.
Yeah.
But the only one team can win, and Chelsea were fortunate enough to win on that day. And I look back and I loved every single minute of it. Again, I played an FA Cup final that not many people can do. And I loved it. You know what I mean? I know I keep saying it, but it was great. It was something that I'll always look back on and I'm very fond memories of.
Yeah, of course. And that's something like I want to ask you. You look back on that final because obviously you played in it and you've got a runners-up medal. Is it? I know you always want to win things and stuff, but because you're a local lad and you've managed to win a trophy that season anyway, and you already played at Wembley and won something, is it as bad a feeling like if the highlights come on the telly, you think, oh no, I can't watch that?
Yeah, no, listen, mate. Oh, I hated it. Hated losing. Couldn't stand it. It was the worst feeling ever losing that game. I'm not going to lie to you. It was really tough to take, especially when I felt like we were the better team, second half especially. Just a bit of class from Drogba, but obviously got the second goal.
Of course.
But you know what? It was real hurt. I didn't like losing it. That everybody was the same feeling. It's not nice to lose a final, but you got to the final, you deserve to be there, and you're just unlucky on the day. One of them things you have to pick yourself up and go again and crack on. You can't dwell on it. What's happened.
No.
But I'll always look back, whether win. Obviously, I know we lost it, so I look back, but I still have very good memories of it all.
Yeah, brilliant. Because you're so humble, mate. You're just so appreciative of the opportunities you've had anyway, haven't you? So some footballers will play one game, break the leg, and then they've got to retire.
Yeah, listen, I'm fortunate every day. I get to do the job that I've always dreamed to do, and I love every minute of it. I've still got the same hunger and desire now. I want to succeed and do well, and keep improving and keep getting better. And I want to play for as long as possible. And for me, it's you got to work every day. I don't want to work as hard as I do every day and then not have something at the end of it. So I mean that game of a weekend is the best thing about the feeling. So I want to work and prove that I can still play. I've been very fortunate enough and loved every single bit of my career. Whether people have maybe different opinions, I've absolutely loved every second of it.
Perfect, mate. Well, I don't know if you've noticed over the last couple of weeks, especially the last 2 weeks, where we've had there's an infamous documentary which you were a part of, being Liverpool.
Oh yeah.
And that's obviously been talked about a lot. I mean, for God's sake, there's nothing much to talk about football-wise at the minute. So obviously everyone's talking about it. The infamous documentary. Obviously, Brendan Rodgers comes in. Yeah. And you featured quite, a heavily part of an episode where you go to home, they see your wife and your daughter at the time, and then they go and see your dad. They spend the day with the dad while you're playing for Hearts. And I had no idea that you were playing against Hearts, and then 2 days later or 3 days later you're off to Bolton. Yeah, I couldn't fathom how that happened. I really couldn't. I mean, was that a tough thing to take when you were told you were going to go out on loan?
Listen, I've told everyone the same story. Had a good pre-season, really enjoyed it. Obviously, Brendan had come in. We'd started early because of Europa League, I think it's qualification stuff. Yeah. And we had a good conversation. He called me in one day and said, listen, where do you see the season going? I knew Brendan from years ago when he was at Chelsea. I spoke to him plenty of times and knew exactly what he was about. And he called me and said, what are your ambitions for the season? I said, listen, I want to succeed on last season. I felt I did enough to be involved and to be around, and I feel as if I should do it again. And he said, no, listen, he said, that's fine. He said, I agree with what you're saying. He said, you'll be a big part of the squad. You might not play as many as you played last year because I'm looking to bring in Joe Allen. So I was like, right, okay. So I knew he was going to bring in Joe Allen. We all knew that he was one of his favourite players. Another midfielder to come in. I was thinking, oh, cheers, thank you very much. And then he just said, kind of, obviously, you might come on a few, you might do this. And I thought, well, after having that real glimpse of playing 35, 2 cup finals, and playing all the competitions, it was kind of a bit of a blow. I said to him, okay, that's fine. Thank you for being honest. You know what I mean? I'll take that. But I'd like to think about it. So that was fine. He said, no problem at all. So we trained forever. We played the Hearts game. and I think he brought me off after about an hour, I think.
Yeah.
And I just thought, like, I just felt like, oh, that was the kind of a final straw that he kind of like didn't feel that I was going to be as big as part as I'd like to be. So I went to see him the day after and said, oh, was there a reason why I came off? And he said, no, I just wanted to get Joe on. And I said, okay. I said, well, is this going to be like a regular occurrence? And he said, well, listen, obviously I've brought Joe in. He's a lot of money. He's a player that I've admired quite a lot.
Yeah.
So it's going to be split between the two. And I was like, all right, okay. And I took a little bit of a knock by that. I felt that I deserved a bit more. So again, day after that, just knocked on his office and said, listen, I've had a sniff from a few clubs after the year that I've had to go on loan and play. Would that be an option? He said, if that's what you want to do, then that's great, that's fine. So we shook hands fairly, grown men, said thank you very much. And I had obviously good phone calls with Bolton, and I felt like it was the right thing for me to do, to go and play. And I loved every single minute of my season at Bolton.
It's mad that, mate, because I had no idea that it was relatively your decision to do that. I had no idea.
I just felt at the time that after the season that I just had, I didn't really want to go backwards. Listen, leading up to that stage, I'd done everything I'd ever dreamed of doing. And I kind of sat down with my dad and my agents and said, can I deal with playing maybe 10, 12 games and coming on a couple of games, playing the odd cup game a year? I felt that in my career, if my career was maybe to go on longer, I needed to go and play games.
Yeah.
Whatever level that may have been. So I just felt like the right decision for me at the time was to go on loan and play. And I went on and played 40 odd games that season again for Bolton.
It's such a bold decision, mate, obviously, because of the type
Well,
of
it's
play.
football, mate, do you know what I mean? I want to play football. Like I just said to you, I don't want to train week in, week out and have nothing at the end of it. I want to play regularly. I want to be fighting for 3 points. I want to play games, you know what I mean? I just want to play football. So whether that was going to be at Liverpool or not, it was just my decision to take, and I don't regret that decision.
Yes.
I'm happy with that decision. It was the right one for me at the time. So
yeah, well,
because the 11-12 season was like a breakthrough for you, wasn't it? Like,
yeah,
you played so many games. The next progression for you should have been playing most of the Premier League games and playing 80% of the games. Like you said, you've made the decision because you don't want to be a bit part player.
Yeah.
That's fair. Obviously, you've brought Joe Allen in, who's the Welsh Xavi.
Yeah.
Who wanted to try and fit in. But no, I don't think any Liverpool fan would blame you for taking that decision. Obviously, you want to play football like anyone does. They don't want to sit.
Like you said, mate. It was progression, because I think obviously under Rafford it was like a couple of games as a kid, and then the next year I got a couple more. Year after, obviously Europa League, stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it gradually got more and more. So, like you said, the 11-12 season for me was a massive season. Played probably nearly 80-90% of the games, and then like you said, the year after you want to do that again. And when someone comes in and kind of like, he was honest, listen, I've got no hard feelings with Brendan. I've seen him a lot recently, and I've got no hard feeling whatsoever. And I just felt that I didn't want to go backwards again, because then I felt like it would maybe knock the career going forward. So yeah, no, it was mainly my decision, obviously myself and like my dad at the time, and to go make that decision, and we believe it was the right one.
Well, definitely, because you, correct me if I'm wrong, but you won Player of the Year, didn't you, in your first year?
Yeah, mate, no, I'd say I had a really successful year. We lost out on the last day through goal difference. That was a real blow. Can't believe we did that. But yeah, won quite a lot of awards that year. Got the Northwest Footballer of the Year and stuff like that. So it was a really successful year, so really enjoyed it again. Yeah,
like I said, mate, it proves everybody that the decisions you make are right, because you play the majority of games, you win those accolades, and improve the ability that you had. Was there a little thing in terms of the loan deal where you couldn't play the last few games or something? Did I read that?
That was when I signed. So obviously I come back after the first loan year.
Yeah.
And funny enough, Rodgers had oddly seen that I'd had a great year and whatever. And he said, listen, we'd like to offer you a new deal at the club. So I was like, all right, okay. And he said, but it'll be the same scenarios like what it has been before. So I was like, okay. And then again, just having that year of 40 odd games, getting the accolades, obviously winning like Northwest Footballer of the Year, Bolton's Player of the Year, stuff like that. You just think, you know what, I've had a real bite for Championship football week in, week out. And again, another stage of my career, I think, you know what, I've just played 46 games there. I can go and do that for the next 4 or 5 years. So again, it was just a decision of I'd like to. I think Blackburn came in at the time with the bid as well, but then Bolton matched it. So I went to Australia with the club first, and that's when the bid came in. We literally landed in Australia, and the bid from both clubs came 2 hours later.
Oh, I didn't send you straight back, did they?
No, mate, I had to wait 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks in Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, and all that.
Oh, Jesus. What was
It
going
was a good trip, like. I enjoyed the trip.
Yeah. What was in your mind? I think you're training for Liverpool and you're thinking, I'm going to be playing for Bolton next year. Because I imagine...
Well, it was kind of like, obviously, Brendan called me and said, listen, we've had bids from both clubs. It's up to you if you want to speak to them. That's great, but obviously remember the conversation that we had. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. So it was just a matter of 2 weeks of get fit, get pre-season out the way, and just see how it goes in the games. The games in pre-season, he didn't really include me, so I kind of got a feeling again that it was kind of time for me to move on. Yeah. If it wasn't for Stevie G, I wouldn't have played in the, what's the cricket ground game called? The cricket ground? One with the 100,000 fans in.
Oh, bloody hell. Oh.
Yeah.
That's gone from me. My best mate's going to have a right go up, you know.
Oh, God, it's got me head.
The Australian cricket ground?
Yeah, it's got like 100,000 in. Anyway, Stevie said before the game, like, I think Brendan had put, listen, you're going to come off after like 70 or something. He said, right, he said, Spio's coming on for me. He said he's not played a lot of minutes, he needs to play, so he's coming on for me. That's only one I'm coming off for. So he kind of forced it with him to like give me 20 minutes of that last game, obviously, you know, because of the amount of fans and whatever, which I really appreciated and thought it good of him, obviously being the captain and whatever. And then obviously that pre-season kind of gave me a bit of an inkling that it wasn't going to be, and decided to go to Bolton.
Fair play, because I know they absolutely loved you when you came back, and you were made captain. Because I know Zach Knight was the captain, wasn't he? But obviously, through his injuries and stuff like that, you took over that mantle, and then you got captaincy and got the team promoted as well. So,
no, well, listen, mate, my Bolton time was fantastic. I absolutely loved every minute of it. Going on your point before, yeah, there was a bit of a clause that if I played over, I think it was I played over 25 games, there was meant to be a payment to the club back to Liverpool. So for the first year, they paid it. The second year, I then had to go on loan to Blackburn because they weren't willing to pay it. So I went on loan to Blackburn where Gary Bowyer was.
Yeah. So
I went there for 3-4 months. Had a great 3-4 months there. Loved that again. Great time. Really enjoyed this. Had some great players: Jordan Rhodes, Tom Kearney, Rudy Gested, Ben Marshall. Like a really good side. I think we finished eighth. I think it was. Went back the year after, played again, and then they said the same thing again. You can't play. That time, I think we were probably about 18th at that time. I think 18th, 19th. We were struggling that year. And for the last 12 or 13 games, I missed, and then the club got relegated.
Yeah.
It was really tough watching the lads go through that tough time, not being able to help them. You know, I'm not saying I would have kept them up. You know what I mean? But at least like be out there helping them, because training Monday to Friday and I can't help them on the pitch. It was difficult.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most difficult times in my career, I think, just with not having the game time at the end. But then being relegated, obviously that summer it was tough. It was negative all around the club. But then to get promotion back from League One that year was just icing on the cake for me.
Would you say that was your best moment at Wanderers?
I think if all round, I'd probably say after my first year on loan, my loan season, the first one, loved that. Felt it was fantastic. Loved every single minute of it. But then after signing, again, loved every minute. Loved being there. Loved playing. Had the difficult times of each year doing this, that, and the other. But if I was to pick a full year of real enjoyment, it was that year of promotion, the League One. The side that we got relegated with, all the lads stayed. And no word of a lie, we came back on pre-season day one, and we all looked around the changing room and said, if we do not get promoted this year with this squad, we have to retire. That was a general conversation in the dressing room on day one of pre-season. And we just said, no disrespect to everyone that was in the league.
Yeah.
We just said, listen, with this squad that we got, we should get out of this league straight away. And we did. And it was just a real good year with like Phil Parkinson as well. He was a fantastic manager then.
Definitely.
And just a real good set of lads, and we deserved it as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the club it's been around since the league formed, and it's an incredible club. It was a family-run club for years, and I'm just glad
it's fantastic, mate. The stadium, the facilities, the fans, the club itself, it was fantastic. Again, sadly, done behind the scenes and money problems and all that, and owners. That's another conversation that everyone can go into themselves. But a real good club, and the fans are brilliant. Really, really, really enjoyed it.
Yes, it's just nice to see them not going to administration, wasn't it, last year? And
yeah, massively, mate. It was really tough. A lot of people still work there that were there when I do. You know what I mean? Even like Wheats was there at the time, Vela, and they were all still there then. So obviously they've moved on now, but they were there at the time, and it was tough for them as well to see them go through that as well.
Yeah. But now we look captain of Blackpool now. How are you enjoying life by the seaside, mate?
Again. Love it, mate. Really, really do. Yeah. Again, it's a. You know what? I don't mind a dodgy owner, though, do I? Listen, no. When I first went, obviously everyone knew about Lewiston's. Everybody knew about them, obviously. But going and playing for them when I first went, it was a real eye opener. Again, it was the manager Gary Bowyer that got me in. He was brilliant. Really enjoyed it. Great guy, great friend of mine still. He called me in and said, "Listen, come and sign here." So I was like, "Great, I'll sign a year, no problem." Signed, played, and it was real. It was so mad. We were playing in front of 2,000 fans because obviously the fans weren't willing to come back because of Lewiston's. So it was a bit of a mad one, but really enjoyed football again, playing. It was great. We finished 9th or 10th, I think it was. And then the year after, when the Oceans left, it was just it's got better and better and better since they've left. The fans have got the club back. We've got a new owner. He's brilliant. We've got new, obviously all the new players, new board. They've kitted everything out again. It's just a real good club, and it's a real good project going forward, and one that I'm really enjoying being on the ride on.
Oh, good stuff, mate. Well, hopefully you can get back as soon as possible and get playing for the Tangerines as quickly as possible. Obviously, we always encourage when it's safe to do so and stuff. I know we're all addicted to football and we want to get back, but just as long as it's all safe, mate. And are you being told anything at the minute, whether it's going to come back or
just when to run? Do you know what, mate? We're waiting. We're kind of waiting to find out what's what. We've kind of got an off-season program, so we're having to run every day and send our runs over to the fitness coach and keep an eye on what we're doing to keep fit. Obviously, Neil Critchley is now our manager. Awesome. He's a real good manager. He's only been here a couple of weeks, but his training, the amount of detail he goes to is next to none. I think he'd do really well for the club. But yeah, we're just waiting to find out. We've had a rough date of around the 16th of 18th of May, maybe. That was a kind of like rough one, if you want to say, you know what I mean? So we're just working towards that, but depending on what the government's saying, obviously the guidelines and the health and safety and stuff, and we're just waiting for the phone call to say, yes, let's go again, or no.
Yeah, exactly, because safety's paramount at the minute. I mean,
of course, mate, yeah.
Everybody's families and stuff, but I think obviously from a Liverpool perspective, we're all desperate for it to kick off.
Tell me about it.
We just want to see Hendo lifting that trophy, mate. So again, you know, you left the club under Brendan Rodgers, and then obviously Klopp's come in now. And give us your thoughts on, as a Liverpool fan, the job he's done, and talk about.
He's incredible, isn't he? I love him. I'd love to work under him. And just the aura and everything he has about him, and how he speaks to people, and how he's got the best out of all these players is incredible, and the love that they have for him as well. That's a special bond that, like, for players to really, really love a manager and run through a wall for a manager. That takes a lot of trust and work to build that relationship, and it's incredible to see. They've got better year by year. He's got better year by year as well, of obviously working things out and working the Premier League out.
Yeah.
Obviously the cup runs, the Madrid, the finals and stuff, and obviously now, hopefully, fingers crossed, everything crossed, that they get through and they get past to go and finish this season off and win the Premier League. He's just, any word you can use is incredible. I think you all probably agree with me that he's been probably one of the greatest managers Liverpool will ever see.
Definitely, mate. I mean, if the flag that's on the cup, where we've got all the greatest managers that have won things with us, and he'll definitely be added to that.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's yeah, well, we want to try and keep as long as we can, don't we? Like, but
you have to, mate. You know what I mean? If this club, it's all right. Fingers crossed again, he goes on and win it. But you don't want to be that just one hit wonder. You want to like, come on, let's go and like run it for a bit. Let's go and like stay there with City, and now obviously City are again in this little transition stage, you could say. But let's go and run the Premier League for a couple of years, like we used to. Do you know what I mean? Don't just settle for winning it once. Go and win it twice, or go and win it 3 times, and make a statement of what Liverpool Football Club is again.
yeah.
And then we did that obviously with the losing the Champions League final to then go win it the year after. Real shows like the sides here not to mess about. We're here for a good stage.
That's it, mate. And
great trip that, by the way.
And as a professional footballer, you sit yourself. You know, James Milner once said, like, once you win the first one, then winning breeds winning. So you win the Champions League final, we win the World Club Cup, Super Cup, and we're touch wood, we're going on to win the Premier League now. It's not a myth, is it?
No, is it? There's nothing better. There's nothing better than the feeling of winning a football match.
Yeah.
Nothing better. At the end of that 19 minutes, when you walk off and you've won, you've got 3 points. You can never beat that feeling. Whether it's a friendly or a game, a cup game, a final, that feeling of winning that game is exactly the same right the way through. You're a professional footballer. That's what you earn your money for, if you want to say.
Yeah.
No one likes losing in anything. Never, whether you're being a footballer or a cricketer or I don't know, and a Formula One driver or like, you know what I mean, or 5-a-side with your mates, like, you know what I mean. Everybody hates losing on a football match, so it's in your blood, and you want to succeed and be successful. Everybody wants to look back on their career when they finish and go, "Wow, happy days."
Definitely, mate. And have you spoken to Hendo? Because obviously you played with him. Have you had any contact with him?
You know what, mate? He's a really good guy. He joined obviously when I was there. We had a really good relationship, and we've had a great relationship since. We do. I speak to him every so and so. Don't want to pound him. You know what I mean? He's the busiest man alive at the minute. He's going to be lifting the Premier League trophy, we hope. So he's getting clouded with all sorts of messages and everything. But again, it's just messages of wish him luck, and he deserves all the accolades that he's getting. He had a difficult time when he first came. A lot of people were on his back, but we've seen in day-to-day training what he could be and what he could do for this football club. And he deserves everything he's getting, and he really does deserve to go on and lift the trophies he's going to lift.
Yeah, well,
do you think that on the cake will hopefully be the Player of the Year? Do you think he'll finally get Player of the Year as well? Do you think this year?
You know what? In my opinion, I think he deserves it. He'll have a tough run with obviously Sadio. I think obviously Mane's been outstanding again for year after year, but if you have to pick someone, he's led us. I don't know if many people notice it, but sometimes when he comes on, he just changes everything. He's so influential now. Like, even when like Klopp's rested him and brings him on for half an hour, that half an hour is like 100 miles an hour from everybody. He just lifts the whole squad, the stadium, the fans, the players, everything. And he's just a fantastic leader. And again, I know I've repeated it, but he deserves everything that he's getting.
He does.
I always look back at like the Leicester game when we beat Leicester 4-0 away. I've never seen like a centre-mid play as well since Steven Gerrard. He was he was just dominating everything. He was
like
just
a man obsessed, really.
Yeah, it was literally ridiculous. I know Trent got 2 assists and scored that game, but Henderson was absolutely unbelievable. And
for the last 2 years, though, mate, he's probably gone like an unsung hero, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Obviously, like the Salahs and the Manes and Bobby's obviously took on Virgil as well, because obviously it's how big he is. Trent as well, Robbo coming in. There's a lot of big players in that squad that have probably getting with the assists and goals, like you say. Probably taking a lot of the work that he does out of it. But this year he's really started. I think people have really started to see what role he brings to the club and what he brings to the team as well. He's a bit of an unsung hero, in my opinion, and he deserves again every accolade he's getting at the minute.
Definitely. Well, Mick, go on then. You asked the tough question for Jay.
Yeah. So the difficult one is pick yourself a 5-a-side team.
When you message me about this, it's easy, but I repeat it to everybody.
Do you go full out attack, or are you going to play it safe with a couple of defenders in there?
Do you know what I'm going to do? Right, I'll go a bit of a mix. I think I'll go to Pepe Reina in goal.
Good choice, mate. What a character. I imagine he was dead funny in the dressing room.
One of the best characters I think I've ever been around. he used to play outside 5-a-side as well.
No way.
Yeah, so I'd have him in goal. I'd have Cara. So obviously them two are like my defensive side. You know what I mean? They can cover what they need to cover. Stevie, obviously, that's an easy one. And then I'm going to go. But Stevie does an all-round job, doesn't he? So then I'll go Suarez and Torres.
Oh, what a 5-a-side team that is, eh?
Can't be beating that, like, can it?
You know what I mean? There's not. Listen, I've been fortunate enough to play with fan side, but as a 5-a-side team, I think there's not much better than that at the minute.
No, absolutely not.
The work rate, like you say, Pepe can play with his feet for fun. He used to play out in 5-a-side. He was class. Cara's Cara. He's effing and blinded at everybody, keeping everyone in shape. Stevie's your all-round world-class midfielder. They can do a bit of defensive and attacking. Suarez is kind of like Suarez is a bit of a number 10 behind Torres. Torres, your out-and-out striker.
Yeah.
And then Suarez doing the dirty work and his class work as well.
I mean,
you mentioned Reina, didn't he play in a friendly in centre mid for Liverpool years ago?
It wasn't pre-season. He had to play out because didn't have enough subs, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. But he was class, mate. Honest to God, he was so good. He was probably one of the best keepers I think I've ever seen with his feet.
Yeah.
He'd just shout, right, go, and he'd just like ping a ball. It'd say crossbar, bang, top corner, bang, hit a pole, done. Player, go stand over there, go on, I'll let you. And just hit everybody with everyone. Didn't he bring in like the sideline volley as well?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
I think he was like the catalyst for like keepers like playing out from the back. Well, like starting back.
100%.
I remember assist for against Villa. I think it was Albert Riera scored like a volley, and it was from a Reina kick out.
Mate, honestly, he was incredible. He was so good. I think he went deaf a couple of times off Cara as well. He had a bit of a foul mouth, but he was funny.
Imagine though, mate. Like you said, that 5-a-side team there, and the two up front with Suarez and Torres. I mean, for me, they were jaw dropping of a game. But I imagine in training they were doing stuff that you're just like, how the frig has he done that? You know?
Do you know what, mate? Torres was unbelievable. He was an out-and-out striker, Torres. Like his finishing, his movements was next to none. Obviously, the connection he had with Stevie as well was unbelievable. But he did it for like 18 months or so, like 18 months real fire, and after that he kind of just, I don't know, it's kind of like he lost the love of it, and he kind of like fell out and had sniffs of moves and stuff. And listen, he was a fantastic player for Liverpool. Never take that away from him, but he just didn't, in my opinion, I don't think he reached the heights of Liverpool anywhere else.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I think he's real. I think he is real good. The best of Torres was at Liverpool. But when Suarez came in, you'd obviously seen it done well at Ajax, but there wasn't as much hype as him coming in as Torres. But there was no surprise whatsoever he went on to do what he did, because what you see in a game is what you got every day in training. He would kick people for fun. He would punch them. He would drag them on the floor. He hated losing. And he just loved to play football, and his desire to win and to play football was class. And he was a real good guy off the field as well. We had a lot of good battles and training and fun times, and he was really good to be around as well.
That's me. I was going to say, he must have been a nightmare to play against. He
was, mate. He was horrible, you know, because especially like little 5-a-side games or like close games, when you got it in the middle of the park and he was running after, he used to just like punch you in the back.
Oh, shit.
Literally, mate, honest to God, it just kick you, and you'd be like, what are you kicking me for? Anything to put you off, but then he'd always try and meg you, and you would literally try your hardest not to get megged, but he would put it through your legs. And the amount of times I'd just kick him as well, just because I thought, you're not megging me today.
It's that famous banner, Luis Suarez could meg a mermaid.
He could, honestly, mate. It's the amount how he did it in some places, you just thought, what are you doing?
It looked jammy though, didn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it did, mate.
Is he meaning that or not? But he obviously is, isn't he? At times, he's like football is through, and you'd be like, is that skill or is that luck? But it's obviously.
But then another one I've missed out the 5-a-side team was Raheem.
Oh yeah, of course. You played with him, didn't you?
Raheem was a different level. Like, you could see from a kid, he was quiet. Obviously, you remember the programme when he dinghied Rodgers. Was it steady when he shouted steady?
Steady, yeah.
Yeah. Was you there for that?
Yeah, we were there. Yeah, that was in Boston. That was pre-season. That was in pre-season Boston, I think it was.
Yeah.
Did he actually say it? Because he was saying he didn't say anything. Did he actually say it? Did you hear him say it?
I didn't actually hear him say it, thingy, but a lot of the people think he heard something said. They don't know if it was steady or not, but a lot of people said they heard things, but I was somewhere else at that time. But you could see, what was he, 17, I think it was?
Yeah.
And he was a player. You could just tell him, he was so strong and so quick. He was just next to on him. Really good. Lived the kid's dream, so...
Yeah, I think that's the thing. What I've taken a lot out of this today was we talk about being Liverpool fans and being able to put on the shirt, and you've done that at a stage. Your dad was a massive Liverpool fan. He's proud to say that my son's put on the red shirt, and you've played in Champions League. You've won medals with us. You've pretty much done everything, mate, haven't you? With what?
No, listen, luckily, mate. Luckily, I worked my socks off as a young kid.
Deserve everything you got.
Sacrificed quite a lot, you know what I mean? The child, sorry, I was training 3 times a week with a game of a weekend. Didn't get a lot of time with friends. Couldn't play with my mates anymore as a young lad.
Yeah.
Was up and down the country from 16 full time, and the hours we put in and the work commitments, and I obviously got all my rewards from it, and that wouldn't have been without my mum and dad taking me to them places. So. Do you know what I mean, mate? All the hours they'd put in for me with my mum and dad and whatever, I wouldn't be where I am today, or have what I've got, or with the lovely family that I've got now, and without what they'd given me, the opportunity that they'd given me as a kid. I've paid them back as much as possible. Do you know what I mean? And they've still got the shirt and they're up in their house now. So
brilliant, mate. Love it. And obviously you settled down with a young family now as well. Have you got 3 girls now?
Yeah, been married 18 months, been with my partner 10 years, so it's a long time, and then got a 8-year-old, 5-year-old, and a 6-month-old.
And they're all girls as well, mate.
All girls, mate. even the doggers as well.
No way, that's the throne.
Oh, mate, that's all.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, they say real men produce girls anyway, mate, so you're spot on.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
The classmates, they're brilliant. Honestly, they're really good. Love it. Keep me on my toes. Completely different.
Yeah.
So, good.
Nah, spot on, mate. Spot on.
I was going to ask you about squad number 20. Was there any significance with the number you chose, or was it just one?
I was gonna tell you before. So I was 26, wasn't I?
Yeah.
And we bought Charlie Adam.
Yeah.
Charlie Adams' son was born. I think it was his son. I think it was born on the 26th, and he had a thing of a number for 26.
Yeah.
Now at the time, I didn't really have a thing for numbers. I wasn't really like, a number's a number. I was kind of like, it is what it is. The only thing I did was that I needed an even number for some strange reason. I don't like odd numbers.
Yeah.
So the only available number at the time was 20. So took 20, and that was the number going. That was how it was.
Hey, mash around.
We signed a midfielder, and I actually did him a favour.
I know, yeah.
Numbers, they can mean something. Like at the minute, like my daughter's born on the 8th, and then one born on the 17th. So obviously, with being number 8 now, it kind of like means a little bit. But I think at that stage, being then, it was kind of like squad number for Liverpool Football Club. Give me 99 or 110 if you want. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of like, I'm happy to have one, as long as it's even.
Yeah. I got 26 spearing on the back of the black shirt with the yellow trim.
Oh yeah.
I blatantly did that because you had the same first name as me, so I was like, fuck it, I'll have that. That's the reason why I did it.
At least you sold one shirt.
Fucking changed the number. I was like, oh, for God's sake.
Hey, now you know it's not my fault, it's Charlie Adams' fault.
Exactly. Well, there's a lot.
You never go with him
£10 million corners.
Change the number.
Yeah, exactly. I need to dig that shirt out somewhere. Well, listen, mate, we will let you go. And like I said, we can talk with you, mate, talk about the Reds and your career. And thank you very much for joining us, dear. We really appreciate it.
No worries, mate. Really do appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, mate. All the best. And
cheers, pal.
Cheers, mate. Bye.